If you've been watching Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, you've probably noticed something interesting. The show has made a clear effort to bring back familiar faces from Young Sheldon. We've seen family dynamics resurface, side characters pop back in, and threads from the original series continue to weave into this new chapter. But there's one very obvious absence: Sheldon. And that's not an accident. On the surface, it might feel strange. Young Sheldon was built around him. He was the center of that universe. So, why would a spin-off that lives in the same timeline bring back nearly everyone except the character who started it all? The answer comes down to focus, tone, and identity. First, this show isn't about Sheldon. It's about Georgie. That distinction matters more than people realize. For years, Georgie existed in Sheldon's shadow. Even in The Big Bang Theory, Georgie was often defined through Sheldon's stories or complaints. Young Sheldon gave Georgie more depth, but the narrative gravity still pulled toward Sheldon's genius and eccentricity. Now, for the first time, Georgie gets to be the center. If Sheldon were to show up regularly, even in small doses, he would naturally dominate the energy of the room. That's just how the character is written. His personality is big, specific, and hard to ignore. The writers likely understand that bringing him back could unintentionally shift the spotlight away from Georgie and Mandy's relationship, which is the emotional core of the show. There's also a tonal difference to consider. Young Sheldon balanced family comedy with Sheldon's academic journey. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage feels more grounded. It's about young adulthood, unexpected responsibility, marriage under pressure, and figuring out identity outside of childhood. Sheldon's presence would pull the show back into its previous rhythm instead of allowing it to evolve. Another important factor is narrative timing. Sheldon, at this point in the timeline, is on a very specific path academically and personally. His trajectory is already well documented, especially considering The Big Bang Theory. The show doesn't need to revisit that. Georgie's story, however, still has space to be explored. There's emotional flexibility there. Bringing back other young Sheldon characters makes sense because they directly impact Georgie's life. His mother, his family, familiar community members, they all influence his marriage, his work ethic, and his growth. Sheldon, while important historically, isn't central to Georgie's day-to-day emotional development at this stage. There's also something symbolic about the absence. This series feels like Georgie stepping out from under his brother's shadow. Not having Sheldon physically present reinforces that idea. It signals to the audience that this isn't a continuation of Sheldon's story. It's a new chapter entirely. And from a storytelling perspective, sometimes less is more. If Sheldon were to appear, it would need to mean something significant. A casual cameo might feel gimmicky. A bigger appearance might overshadow the narrative. By holding back, the writers preserve the option for something impactful down the line rather than diluting it with frequent callbacks. It's also worth considering audience expectations. Fans tuning into this show likely already know Sheldon's arc. There's no mystery there. But Georgie and Mandy's relationship? That's layered. That's messy. That's evolving in ways we haven't fully seen before. The writers are betting on that emotional unpredictability instead of nostalgia. And honestly, that's a smart move. Nostalgia can bring viewers in, but character growth keeps them watching. By bringing back familiar faces while keeping Sheldon absent, the show maintains continuity without feeling trapped by it. It honors its roots without being controlled by them. So the absence of Sheldon isn't a snub. It's a creative choice. It protects the show's identity. It allows Georgie to breathe as a lead character. And it reinforces the idea that this story, messy, complicated, sometimes chaotic, belongs to Georgie and Mandy. And for once, that spotlight isn't being shared.